You are about to discover something that most men will never truly understand. Not because it is complicated, not because it is hidden, but because it requires you to completely change how you see yourself, women, and conversation itself. By the time you finish watching this video, you will no longer wonder what to say to women. You will no longer panic during silences. You will no longer feel the need to impress, entertain, or prove anything. Instead, women will feel calm around you, curious about you, pulled toward you, without being able to explain why. This is not manipulation. This is understanding. This is you. And this is the woman you're talking to. Right now, your mind is asking questions. What should I say? How do I not mess this up? How do I keep her interested? How do I stop the conversation from dying? These questions are the real problem, because the moment you ask them, you've already placed yourself below her. So before we talk about words, topics, or techniques, we need to completely rebuild your internal mindset. The first internal shift. She is not special. Yes, she may be beautiful. Yes, she may be charming. Yes, she may have options, but she is still a human being. She gets bored. She gets insecure. She doubts herself. She wants to feel understood. The moment you place a woman on a pedestal, you shrink yourself. And when you shrink yourself, she feels it instantly. Women do not respond to worship. They respond to presence. So from now on, whenever you talk to a beautiful woman, remember this: she is not above you. She is beside you. The second internal shift. You must stop trying to be chosen. This is where most men fail. They speak softly. They agree too much. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny. They filter every sentence before saying it. Why? Because they want approval. And approval seeking is the fastest way to kill attraction. The man who is trying to be chosen is never chosen. Instead, you need to see yourself as someone who is calmly evaluating her, not judging, not criticizing, simply observing. Do I enjoy talking to her? Do I feel relaxed around her? Does she add peace or tension? This mindset alone will change everything about how you speak. What attraction actually is. Attraction is not logical. You cannot convince someone to feel something. Attraction is emotional and subconscious. Women don't wake up and decide who they'll be drawn to. Their emotions respond automatically to certain signals: calmness, confidence, emotional stability, playfulness, self-respect. These signals are detected before words even matter. That's why some men say very little and still dominate a room, and others talk endlessly but leave no impression. Think of attraction like an internal radar. The moment you start talking to a woman, this radar activates. It is not listening to your words. It is watching how relaxed you are, how much you need her reaction, how you respond to pressure, how you handle silence, how you treat yourself. If the radar senses neediness, attraction drops. If it senses comfort and grounded presence, attraction grows. Why logic doesn't save you. This is why women sometimes fall for men who aren't good for them. Their logical mind knows better, but their emotional radar overrides logic. Emotion always leads. Logic follows. So your job is not to convince her logical brain.
Your job is to remain emotionally grounded. Body language. Stop overthinking. Forget everything you've heard about perfect posture. The truth is simple. The person with higher value is the one who is most comfortable. Not stiff, not frozen, not performing. Comfortable. Lean back when you feel like it. Sit however you want. Move naturally. When you stop monitoring yourself, she stops monitoring you. Here's a powerful test. Imagine sitting next to someone important. You're careful, you're polite, you're tense. Now imagine sitting with a close friend. Relaxed, careless, natural. The second energy is attractive. That's the energy you bring into every conversation. Silence is not your enemy. Most men fear silence. They rush to fill it. They ramble. They panic. But silence is power. Silence shows comfort. Silence gives space. Silence creates tension in the right way. When you pause after speaking, you allow your words to land. If she breaks the silence, good. If she doesn't, you stay calm. Either way, you win. The conversation structure that never fails. Here is the structure you must remember. 50% about her, 30% about the environment or randomness, 20% about you. Why? Because the person who talks most about themselves is the one seeking validation. You are not here to impress. 50% talking about her. Ask about experiences, not facts. Not, what do you do? Instead, what do you enjoy about your days? Listen like you're genuinely curious, not like you're waiting to speak. Repeat parts of what she says. Reflect emotions. Let her talk. Women feel attraction when they feel understood.
30% random and playful. Talk nonsense. Make observations. Change topics. Don't try to sound intelligent. Trying to sound intelligent signals insecurity. Playfulness signals confidence. 20% talking about yourself. Never brag. Tell stories where you look human, not impressive. Make fun of yourself slightly. A man who can laugh at himself is emotionally secure. Mystery, the missing ingredient. Never reveal everything. Not because you're hiding, but because curiosity fuels attraction. Short answers, playful deflections, calm boundaries. Let her wonder. Tests and why they happen. Women test men unconsciously, not to trick you, but to see if you're stable. Teasing, disagreement, small challenges. Your response should always be calm, amused, and grounded. Never defensive, never aggressive. Pass the test by not reacting emotionally. Conversation mastery is not about lines, it's about presence. When you are calm, curious, and comfortable, words take care of themselves. Now that you understand the mindset, the structure, and the emotional mechanics behind attraction, it's time to go deeper. Because here's the truth most men never hear. Words don't create attraction. Emotional states do. Your job in conversation is not to entertain her. It's not to impress her. It's not to convince her. Your job is to create and maintain an emotional atmosphere where attraction can naturally grow. Emotional leadership, the invisible role. In every interaction, someone is leading emotionally. One person sets the pace, the tone, the emotional temperature. Most men unknowingly give this role away. They react instead of respond. They follow instead of guide. They adjust instead of remain grounded, and women feel that instantly. Attraction grows when you lead emotionally without force. That means you don't rush when she's excited, you don't panic when she's quiet, you don't chase when she pulls back, you don't withdraw when she challenges you. You stay steady. The calm center principle. Imagine a storm, wind, noise, movement. Now imagine the center of that storm, calm, still, controlled. That is who you are in conversation. She can talk fast, she can joke, she can test, she can go quiet. You remain centered. This calm is deeply attractive because it signals emotional safety. Why emotional safety matters more than looks. A woman can find many men attractive, but very few make her feel safe emotionally. Safety does not mean boring, it means predictable strength. She knows you won't explode emotionally, you won't collapse under pressure, you won't seek validation from her moods. That's rare. The difference between confidence and dominance. Confidence is being comfortable with yourself. Dominance is forcing your presence onto others. You do not dominate women, you anchor them. Your calm allows her to relax into her feminine energy without feeling controlled. This is why loud, aggressive men may get attention, but calm men keep attraction. Conversation pacing. Slow always wins. Most men talk too fast. Fast words equals nervous energy. Slow speech signals thoughtfulness, control, confidence. Pause before answering. Let silence sit. When you speak slower, she listens harder. Emotional contrast, push and pull done right. Attraction grows through contrast, warmth followed by neutrality, playfulness followed by calm, connection followed by space. Example, you listen deeply, then you lean back and smile. You don't rush to fill the gap. This push-pull is not manipulation, it's emotional rhythm. How to challenge without offending. Challenging a woman doesn't mean being rude, it means not agreeing automatically. If she says something you disagree with, don't debate, smile, respond lightly. Example, that's an interesting take, I don't know if I fully buy it though. No anger, no explanation, just calm disagreement. This shows backbone. Humor, the highest form of confidence. Forced jokes repel. Natural humor attracts. The best humor is observational. Point out something unexpected. Laugh at a shared moment. Tease gently, never insult. And most importantly, laugh at yourself. Self-amusement signals abundance. You're not trying to impress, you're enjoying yourself. Emotional validation without approval seeking. There's a difference between validation and approval seeking. Validation, I understand how that felt. Approval seeking, that's amazing, you're so right. Validate emotions, don't validate egos. Women want to feel understood, not worshipped. How to handle emotional swings. Sometimes she'll be enthusiastic, sometimes distant, sometimes neutral. Never chase emotional highs. If she's excited, enjoy it calmly. If she's quiet, remain grounded. If she pulls back, give space. Your emotional consistency creates attraction over time.
Curiosity beats cleverness. You don't need perfect lines. You need genuine curiosity. When you're truly curious, questions come naturally. And curiosity keeps conversations alive indefinitely. People love talking about themselves, but only when they feel safe doing so. The trap of trying to win conversations. If you're trying to win, you've already lost. Winning arguments kills attraction. Being right kills mystery. Let her have her opinions. You don't need to correct her. Your value isn't proven through debate. When to disengage, the silent power move. Sometimes,
The strongest move is disengagement. If conversation feels forced, if energy drops, if you're not enjoying it, pull back politely. Say, "I enjoyed this. I'm going to get back to my evening." No explanation. This shows self-respect. Emotional memory. What she remembers later. She won't remember everything you said. She will remember how calm she felt, how seen she felt, how safe she felt, how relaxed she felt. That emotional imprint is what brings her back. Masculine presence without aggression. Masculinity is not volume, it's certainty. You know who you are, you know what you want. You don't rush, you don't beg. That energy speaks louder than words. The mistake of over-availability. Being always available signals low value. Have a life, have things to do. When you leave, leave fully. When you return, be present. Scarcity without games is attractive. Why women test emotionally strong men more. When she senses strength, she may test more, not to break you, but to confirm you. Each calm response increases attraction. Each emotional reaction lowers it. Ground rule to remember forever. You don't need her reaction to be okay. The moment you internalize that, everything changes. You speak freely, you listen deeply, you stay calm, and she feels it. Conversation mastery is emotional mastery. If you control your emotional state, you control the interaction. Not by force, but by presence. Now we move from theory into reality. Because knowing the mindset is useless if you don't know how it plays out in real conversations. So in this part, we're going to break down how conversations actually begin, how they naturally flow, where most men lose attraction, and how to quietly lock it in without forcing anything. The opening. Stop trying to be impressive. Most men think the opening line matters. It doesn't. What matters is how you deliver it. You could say something simple, something obvious, something almost boring. If your tone is calm and present, it works. If your tone is nervous or trying to impress, even the best line fails. Example opening. "Hey, quick question." Pause. Let her look at you, then continue naturally. That pause alone shows confidence.
Why simple works best. Simple openings don't put pressure on her. They don't trap her. They don't force a reaction. They invite interaction instead of demanding it. And invitation is attractive. The first 30 seconds, where attraction is decided. In the first moments, she's not listening to your words. She's feeling your energy, your pace, your comfort level. This is why slowing down matters so much. Speak slower than normal. Move slower than normal. React slower than normal. You instantly separate yourself from men who rush. How to respond when she's neutral or cold. Sometimes she won't be enthusiastic. That's okay. Don't try to fix it. Stay polite, stay calm, stay grounded. Neutral energy often warms up when it's not pressured. Pressure kills curiosity. The early flow. Light, observational, human. Early conversation should feel effortless. Comment on something around you. Ask something simple. React naturally.
Don't jump into deep topics immediately. Depth comes later. The turning point, when you stop proving yourself. There's a moment in every interaction where you must stop trying. Most men miss this. They keep pushing, keep talking, keep explaining. Instead, you relax. You lean back. You pause. You let her invest. That shift is subtle but powerful. When she starts investing. Signs she's investing. Asking follow-up questions. Sharing stories. Teasing lightly. Matching your pace. When this happens, do not increase effort. Match her energy. Stay calm. Let it build naturally. How attraction locks in. Attraction locks in when she feels comfortable being herself, safe expressing emotions, curious about you, relaxed in silence. None of this comes from forcing conversation. It comes from allowing space. The mid-conversation danger zone. This is where most men mess up. They feel things going well, and then they try to secure it. They overshare. They compliment too much. They seek reassurance. This collapses attraction. Instead, do less. Less words, less effort, more presence. Compliments. When and how. Compliments should be rare and specific, not "you're so beautiful." Instead, "you have a calm energy. It's interesting." That kind of compliment isn't needy, isn't obvious, isn't physical only. It lands deeper.
Physical presence without pressure. Your physical presence should feel natural. No sudden movements, no invading space, no hesitation either. Comfort creates permission. If you're relaxed, she relaxes. Handling jokes and teasing. Teasing should feel playful, never sharp. If you tease, smile. Pause. Let it land. If she teases you, don't defend. Don't explain. Smile. Respond lightly, or ignore it completely. Non-reaction is power. When disagreement builds attraction. Agreeing with everything makes you invisible. Calm disagreement makes you memorable. Not arguing, not lecturing. Just, "I see it differently." Then silence. That restraint is attractive. The moment of silence, do not break it. There will be moments where no one speaks. Do not rush. Silence builds tension. Tension builds attraction. Breaking silence too quickly signals insecurity. Ending the conversation properly. Never drag conversations to death. Leave while the energy is still good. Say something simple like, "I enjoyed this. Let's continue another time." Or, "I'm going to head out. This was fun." Leaving cleanly makes you memorable. Follow-up energy. Your follow-up should match the tone of the interaction. Short, specific, relaxed. Not paragraphs, not explanations. Confidence is concise. The biggest mistake men make: trying to control the outcome. You cannot control attraction. You can only create the conditions. Calm, curiosity, presence, boundaries. That's it. Internal rule to live by. If you're enjoying yourself, you're doing it right. If you're monitoring yourself, you're doing it wrong. Conversation mastery isn't about saying the right thing. It's about being the kind of man whose presence feels grounded, calm, and real. And when that becomes who you are, women feel it without you saying a word. At this point, you understand something most men never will. Conversation is not about control. Attraction is not about tricks. And connection is not about chasing. It is about who you are being while you speak. Now, in this final part, we'll cover what happens after the conversation, how attraction is preserved, how emotional memory is created, how texting should feel, how rejection should be handled, and the final mindset that makes everything effortless. The emotional aftertaste. Every interaction leaves an aftertaste, not in words, but in feeling. After she leaves, she won't replay sentences. She won't remember exact jokes. She will remember how relaxed she felt, how calm the space was, how natural the interaction felt, how she didn't feel pressured. This emotional aftertaste is what determines whether she thinks about you later. If you made her feel calm, curious, and comfortable, you've already won. Why men ruin attraction after good conversations? Many men do well during the interaction. Then they destroy everything afterward. They text too much. They explain too much. They seek reassurance. They try to lock it in. This signals fear of loss. Fear is felt immediately.
Texting, less is always more. Texting is not a continuation of conversation. It is a bridge. Your goal is not to entertain her through text. Your goal is to lightly reconnect emotional tone. Short messages, clear intent, relaxed energy. That's it. What good texting feels like. Good texting feels unforced, calm, slightly playful, open-ended. Bad texting feels heavy, needy, explanatory, outcome-focused. If you ever feel like you're trying to say the right thing, stop. You're already off track. The rule of response timing. Respond when you're free, not instantly, not strategically delayed, just naturally. Being busy is attractive. Pretending to be busy is not. Setting the next interaction. Don't ask vague questions like, "So, when are you free?" Be specific. Reference something you talked about. Example, "You mentioned that cafe with the terrible music. Let's test it Thursday evening." Specific plans signal leadership. Vagueness signals uncertainty. Emotional consistency builds trust. If you were calm in person, be calm in text. If you were playful, be lightly playful. Never switch personalities. Inconsistency creates doubt. Consistency creates safety. Rejection, the final test of strength. Rejection will happen, not because you failed, but because attraction isn't universal. How you handle rejection says everything about you. Never argue, never explain, never insult, never plead. Simply accept. Calm acceptance is deeply powerful. When a man handles rejection with grace, he instantly separates himself from the majority. And sometimes attraction returns later, but even if it doesn't, you walk away intact. Detachment, the ultimate confidence. The strongest position you can ever take is this: I'm okay either way. Not fake indifference, not emotional shutdown, genuine self-sufficiency. You enjoy connection, but but you don't need it to feel whole. That energy is magnetic.
Why outcome independence changes everything.
When you stop needing a result, your voice relaxes, your body loosens, your humor improves, your presence deepens. Women feel this immediately. Outcome independence is not lack of desire, it's lack of desperation. Masculine grounding, your real work. This entire video is not about women. It's about you, your breath, your pace, your comfort with silence, your boundaries, your emotional regulation. When you master those, women respond naturally. The final internal shift. Stop asking, how do I get her to like me? Start asking, do I enjoy this interaction? That question changes everything. The paradox of attraction. The less you try to control attraction, the more naturally it appears. The more you trust yourself, the more others trust you. The more present you are, the more memorable you become. The man women remember. Women remember the man who didn't rush, didn't chase, didn't perform, didn't collapse emotionally. They remember the man who felt calm. Be that man.
Mastering conversation with women is not about mastering women. It is about mastering yourself. When your presence is calm, your words become powerful. When your energy is grounded, your silence speaks. When you stop trying to impress, you become impressive. If this video helped you, take one thing from it and apply it in real life. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and let your conversations flow naturally.